Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Netflix episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we shall be discussing
Streamberry. This is Streamberry episode.
Greenberry. Thank you, Chris. The meta of that is Netflix. But we shall be discussing the latest season of Black Mirror. Chris and I actually did one of our earliest videos where which episodes we like across the season. So this would be our continuation into the Black Mirror universe, if you will. So how we're going to do this is that we're going to go by each episode 1 through 5. What we liked about it, how we compare and contrast, or just kind of keep it orderly. So this will be, again, more of a season review. And we shall start with Kim. Kim, since I heard you already, what'd you think about the first episode, Joan is Awful?
I didn't like it. I was like, this is annoying. I love Selma Hayek. I do. And I love the young lady. I don't know her actual name, but I like the one that was playing Joan in the beginning because I saw her on Schitt's Creek.
Annie Murphy, yeah. Yeah,
she was so good in that. Like, that is a really good show. But she was really good in that. So I was like, okay, she's familiar. But I don't know. I was like, this is okay. Like, I was the point reality TV is out of control. Like, I didn't get the point of it. So I wasn't a fan of this at all. But when I was a child, I used to write stories, and I used to write like my life was a story. So everything that was going on, it had music. I would pick the music, and I would, and it was like my real life, and I would just write it down, and then I put music in there, and then I'd have like a commercial and all this type of thing. So that's what it reminded me of, that kind of thing. But other than that, I was like, like reality shows I don't like anyway. So that's probably why I don't like this.
I get you. I get you. All right. So Jamani, this is your first ever Black Mirror episode, apparently. What did you think of this episode?
Initially watching it, I thought it was pretty good. I liked the layers that it ended up having. Reminded me of several different, I guess you'd say, movies or TV shows where, you peel back the layer at the end, whether it's like the end of like Men in Black or something like that, when you see that there's something bigger out there.
World.
Yeah. World. And I like the fact that they were able to, I guess you'd say, predict, like at the end, like, well, I can do it because I'm on the second tier. So the person on the first tier has already done it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do it. So,
yeah, when she realized that to your point, she realized that she had no choice, right? This has already happened, right? Like whatever I'm choosing has already been chosen, and I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
So, I thought it was a cool episode, right? When I watched it, was it last week, right? Yeah. And then last night, something blew my mind when I saw this in real life. Right? I'm on YouTube and I'm watching one live stream. It ends. Something shows up in like the main page, and it says live on patrol, right? And I'd been hearing about Taylor Swift's concert in Minneapolis or whatever. They're renaming the city for the weekend because of her concerts and everything. You click on live patrol, you see police officers in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's live action cops in the moment, right? So they're teenagers or whatever are gathering and they're trying to get information out of them. It's like a dashboard cam, so you can see out of the windshield, but you can't see like what's going on in the actual car. But you can hear the voices. So they're getting kids to snitch and all types of stuff in real time. And it's streaming live. I was like, that's what we doing now? Like, if you were a scared kid, the whole world gonna know, your most vulnerable moment or something like that, because it's streaming to the whole world. Like, forget about body cams. We on YouTube now.
All right. Well, that's a little bit different. Unless those kids were watching themselves on the stream as they were giving up information, then that.
No, but I'm just saying in the sense of like, she was like, this just happened. How is this on TV already? Like, how are people watching this? And this is like, she was outside with her boyfriend at the car and she comes inside and this is on TV already. Like, how is it happening so fast? And she finds out that it's like, it's an algorithm. It's not really actual people acting it out and it being shot and filmed and everything. So I'm saying, like, in that regard, you don't have to wait for like a film crew to reenact stuff if everything's already on film and it's just live streamed.
Yes. All right. So you like the concept. You like the concept. And the twist of the fact that she was actually CGI herself. Like so she wasn't even real. Like, so we really never actually saw the true Jones perspective until
except for the end, which was kind of corny, her starting a bakery or whatever. But yeah.
So fantasy was more impressive than reality, apparently.
Yeah, I'll say this from a legal perspective, right? That contract was bullshit because there was no consideration. So I'm like, what did she get for signing away all of these rights? Like, there's elements of a contract to make it legal. She didn't get anything for signing away this thing in the terms.
It's a service agreement, so you get to use the service. Like, what they didn't show, I guess, by using Streamberry, by clicking the user agreement, you agree the fact that your life can be recorded in every way, and you can become part of the channel. So that
but I'm saying you're supposed to get something for that. You can't just, if you're paying for the service, then you're getting the service. You can't, unless the service is free. And even if it's free, it doesn't, the consideration doesn't match. I'm just saying from a legal,
I hear you.
I'm suspending disbelief, but I'm just
putting it out there.
I think it was like a point of the point, in my opinion, the point was that we do kind of sign stuff without thinking about it, right? Yes. Like when we go on different websites and stuff, and that long thing, the disclaimer, how many of us actually read that? Nobody, right? And we click on it, and there's so many things in there that we probably are against or don't agree with, but we click on it anyway because we're trying to get to whatever it is, right? Yeah. So I think that's what it was. So in that instance, I understand it, right? But I just didn't enjoy it. But someone else said that they think it was about AI writing because there's some shows that AI is writing now.
I know okay, Chris.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What you got?
No, I actually I would say this episode is probably the most Black Mirror-esque episode of all of the 5 episodes. For one, it actually dealt with technology. And it had a little bit of goofiness quirk to it. And it was actually the only one that actually had a somewhat of a positive ending. The other ones was just like goddamn near depressing. But yeah, especially that space one. Oh my God. But anyway, but no, I wound up hating this episode at first. And then the more it developed, especially when they showed Selma Hayek, well, in real life, is essentially talking to her lawyer after homegirl takes a shit in the church or whatnot. And then she starts bringing up the fact that you're like her being Catholic and her saying, yo, I thought this was the biggest mistake. I thought Frida was, I was like, okay, this episode's turned out a little bit different than I expected. And I'm enjoying this. At first I thought it was just going to be all like more like Truman Show in the beginning. But the more it developed, the more it did speak to like you were about to get into like the whole AI writing and the whole idea. I mean, not just AI writing, but just like new songs. Like, there's new songs out right now from Drake in The Weeknd. Like the whole thing was Drake in The Weeknd, but they never really recorded it. They just used samples and they created an AI. There's another Biggie song that just came out 2 weeks ago. They just sampled his voice and it's an AI creating a brand new song with Biggie and I think like Lil
Timberland did that, I believe. Timberland.
It's insane. And I think Calvin Harris did that with Eminem during the DJ thing. And it shows, I think it's a somewhat of a warning. I felt this episode was like saying, hey, AI is great in the sense of like it allows us to kind of watch certain things without actually really doing it. But then the idea of like creators and also, I mean, writers are not being very like creative in a sense too. I took it as a kind of a shot at reality TV in a sense, saying that we're so involved into watching reality TV more than anything, just watching people do mundane stuff. Because if you think about it, it said Joan is awful, but the stuff she was doing, I mean, yeah, she kissed the dude or whatever. At that time, she wasn't making love with him. Her life was kind of just normal. Like she wasn't really normal. Like even you could tell how uncomfortable she was when she fired the girl or whatever, right? But that happens, right? You know, she gets a text from an ex. That happens, unfortunately. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, she made a mistake kissing the dude, whatever. And then she start cussing or whatever in the car, or whatever, to the song, whatever. Like, it was regular stuff. But then it was, speaking of like, but when you watch something like that, oh my God, how dare you? And it reminded me so much of like back in the day when I used to watch Big Brother. They had a thing called like Big Brother Live, where you were watching like live what they're doing in the house, basically like Truman Show. And then some of the contestants in real life would get death threats because of like all of they were doing is just like maybe two-timing certain people to get them out the house. But they were just doing some mundane stuff, regular old everyday stuff, like in a competition that you would probably do like out playing kickball maybe or something like that. But now they're getting death threats by real life people because of something they did in the house. And that's all what happened with Joan. Joan was like, she's just kind of living this boring life or whatnot. And then now, like, and then the dude comes up on the bike saying, you're horrible. Fuck you. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, you're fired. And blah, blah. You know what I mean? I just thought it spoke well to that. I like Annie Murphy, so I thought that was great. The whole Selma Hayek thing was so meta. That whole thing was great. The only thing, it would have been even better if like all of a sudden we saw Kate Blanchett deal with it, whatnot. But I guess the episode would have been super, super expensive. So they're like, yeah, we can't get no Kate Blanchett on this. Yeah, and the ending, you know, I was seeing how all the other 5 episodes developed. At least that one had somewhat of a good ending in the sense of both of them, even though they all had like the monitors on their ankles or whatnot. You know, they were still happy with their life because it was like, yo, they beat the system. They beat the system, you know, like Jim Carrey did, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, I beat the system and I can now live my life. You know, I don't have this big corporate job anymore. I'm now in a bakery, but I feel more happier in a sense, you know? So out of all the episodes, I would probably say that one was probably my favorite one. And that's saying a lot because this episode had a lot of stuff that I wasn't too keen about. So I think y'all know what direction I'm probably going to go with the other 4. So anyway, that's it. So
I think what made this unique, as opposed to like the Truman Show. I thought the Truman Show when it first started, right? Like that, but like taken to the next level,
yeah.
Right? But when Joan was watching Selma Hayek, watching Kate Blanchett, and that they were all like watching each other, that was the whole like you see yourself in the mirror, seeing yourself in the mirror, and like that's like Black Mirror. Like what? And then if we could have watched Kate watch somebody else like that, you know, play her, like that would have been crazy. But I thought that kind of brought this episode together. This also reminded me of the social credit system episode, where like the one when she like her life went to shit because people wouldn't give her enough stars, right? And then at one point she became like an outcast, like by the end of the episode. Like so when Joan like shat in the church, that's what it kind of reminded me of that episode. That her life just went to crap until you realize she's, you know, she's CGI too. Like it's all fake. And I was like, I get it. I guess. I did like it had an ending though, Chris. I like the fact that we saw the real Joan. You know, we saw Anna, you know, as an actress, and like again, of course they would have ankle monitors because you destroyed a company. Like that's a crime. You know what I'm saying? So like, so you get that worked out. To your Giovanni, back to your point of user agreements. I think it would have sold it better if as we saw Joan and her boyfriends, they got a new update to Streamberry, and with such comes user agreements, right? Like, you know, like, hey, you got to agree now that we don't share passwords wherever the fuck. And she clicked on the user agreement like all of us do, and we don't actually read that shit. And then that comes to bite her. Like you see it, like you're like, oh yeah, of course, just click on that and keep it moving. And then you find out, oh damn, I let these people monitor everything, that I did. And then that kind of, I thought that would have kind of tied it to better, because that's really what it was. The agreement gave all of them carte blanche to record you.
What would have made it more realistic to me would have been, to your point, would have been if there would have been somebody at her office or just somebody within her life that, there's always one person that we know that doesn't do that one thing. So if they didn't have Streamberry, so they didn't opt in. So like they're watching everything on TV and then they just gloss over something that happened because this person, we don't have the license or the rights to opt that person in.
Yes.
What happened? I just like if it was the thing in the church or something like that, like
the assistant.
You can't show that because the
assistant.
Majority of the people in there, don't use that. So we couldn't use any of that footage because
since her assistant was part of the woman being fired, if he would not have agreed, and when she watched that scene again, somehow it was her and some other person, like it was just a security guard. And he's up there with his lover or whatever, and he's like, "Where am I? Like, why am I not in?" Like, that would have been something. Like, that would have been something. Like, maybe his boyfriend has the account, so he's watching his boyfriend's account, but he didn't agree, so therefore he's not in the scene, and that would have sold what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a good twist for that. Overall, I think this should have been for me. I would like for this to have been episode 2. Since the documentary in episode 2 becomes one of the things they could have watched in this episode. Like I would have liked that connection. And then because then I would have been like, oh, there's a documentary about the killer family in Ireland or wherever the fuck. Like
started with episode 2, I would have probably stopped watching.
Yeah.
That was horrible. But okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting too ahead of myself.
But no, we're talking about compare and contrast. Like, so overall, like we rank all the episodes. This right here is like second to the last. Like 5 was the best for me. 5, 4, 5 and 4, 5 and 4, and then shit. 2, I guess. And then this one, the number 3 will be my bottom one. I didn't appreciate it. Well, but I'm saying this is probably closer to the bottom. But it had an ending though, so I do like that. So number 3, because I did have an ending. I understood how it ended. I didn't have any questions. Like Black Mirror is famous for giving you episodes that make you go, what? And then that's it. It just moves off, and you're like, I don't appreciate this. Anyway. I got it. And to Chris's point, technology was the villain in this one. And that's really Black Mirror-esque. Anyway, Jamani, go back and watch season 1, episode 1, and then we'll have a conversation. And then let's see if you still like Black Mirror after that. Everybody says
you will never look at a pig again.
Next time you have some bacon, you'll be like, nah, I'm good. But everybody says the same thing. Do not watch season 1, episode 1, or you won't watch any more Black Mirror. And I was like,
yeah. I think we said in our review, we were saying like if you were unsure about Black Mirror, skip the first episode, watch the other ones, then go back to the first.
Then go back. Everybody says that. Everybody says that. Anyway,
that's how it almost lost me. I almost was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not gonna watch no more. And they're like, no, keep watching. The dude from Get Out is in the next one. I'm like, you sure? And then I'm like, all right, that was good. I was like, all right. I thought it was thought provoking. I mean, it was a lot going on, but episode 1, first episode of this whole series is very thought provoking, and that's the point I think of the story. Anyway, Lock Henry. What do we think about this VHS based episode? And you got to know what VHSs are, or you're not gonna fully appreciate this episode. I feel like it's a You're not like, if you start off with DVDs, you don't fully appreciate the craziness that can happen with some VHS. when you don't fully record of what you thought was already there. My bad.
I must say, it's that element of it did scare the hell out of me.
See, I think
because I have a significant other. She watched Buffy religiously, right? So she had like recorded every episode on VHS when it came on, like Wednesday nights or whatever in the 90s or whatever the hell, right? So she has these things. So it was like, oh, you need a VHS tape for whatever. Oh, you could just tape over my Buffy now or whatever. And I was just like, she gave me the collection. So it's just like, I have VHS tapes that I can just use of like old, and it's just like in a closet somewhere. And I'm just like, the hell's on them tapes?
You know, I
threw them joints away years ago. Like there's no. The quality, I think we are extremely spoiled now because VHS quality for that time was wonderful, right? But now we have 4K, 5K. There's
Tim, in 15 years, you're going to say 4K sucked, okay?
Right? I will wipe my ass with 4K. But I mean, we need to really appreciate this moment because we've been together for a while, Jamani, and I just learned two things. You got a significant other, and you know what a VHS is. Like both of you. I mean, I was like, I did not think any. I mean, your business is your business, but the VHS thing, I'm surprised because I was like, I thought you'd be like, what's a VHS? Like,
no. I definitely know what a VHS is. Like,
I was like, because my last VHS was 2002, and I had a VHS DVD combo, and that shit broke.
No, I know what a VHS is.
Yeah, because you know, if the VHS recorder stops, the TV breaks.
Right?
It's automatic. It's automatic.
That's like I recorded. Anyway, we get off track. So
I'm just saying, I know what it is because in 2001 somebody told me I should watch Do the Right Thing or whatever, and I tried to. They didn't have it on DVD in 2001, so the only way I could watch it was to buy the VHS, which cost more than any DVD. It cost like $30 for this VHS.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that.
Damn.
Oh, and I used to when DVDs came out, I would burn from a VHS.
Yes.
So you know how you burn them?
Yeah.
I would do that. Yeah.
My niece didn't know what burning was. I thought I was gonna burn it. Anyway, we are truly
Kim had good money. Kim had good money because those things were way too expensive. I remember DVD burners came out, and when I'm like, I can't afford that. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's how I live in.
I was working for Verizon, and hey, the money was there. So
it was a good days. But so in this is where this episode is lower ranking for me. If not because my coworker friends
lower. It's not the what? Okay.
It's called. Shit. No. Beyond the Sea is the worst for me. This is second to the bottom.
Really, that was my favorite. I like that one.
You like this one?
No. I like the Beyond the Sea,
the space one. But
I like the space one.
No.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
I think David probably has the same issues I have with Beyond the Sea, and we'll get to that.
We'll get to that when the time comes. But my problem with this episode primarily was because it was hyped up a lot for me. Like I said, two coworkers were like, "David, you gotta see this." So I'm like, I'm waiting for some wild shit, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, it's VHSs, so I'm not sure.
David, it wasn't even. I didn't hear nothing about the episode, and I still think it's the worst episode. So
I was like, anyway, well, who liked this? Who liked this episode? So we can start with something positive.
I wouldn't say I disliked it. I actually liked the suspense. Okay. I like that they gave us the suspense, right? Like with Pia, right? With the mom, because you knew something when Pia walked through the door. Of course, she looks different. She has no eyebrows. She's black, right? This woman is Irish and so it's a little shocking, right? You're bringing home your girlfriend. I'm not expecting this, right? So I got that with the mom, right? Can't remember her name. I think Janet. So I got that, but I like the way that they built suspense between Pia and Janet. Like it was the mom was uncomfortable in the beginning, and then she got a little bit more comfortable, but then she was uncomfortable. You know, they kept going back and forth with her emotions and things like that. So I did like that. And then, but other than that, this story this is a story. If you like true crime like I do, I know this story. This actually happened, but it happened in the UK. So it's like, it was, you know what I mean? Like it was nothing except for the fact that they built suspense very well. Yeah. Other than that, I was like, why am I watching this? This has nothing to do with tech. Well, I guess the technology was VHS, right? Is that what we're saying here? Okay.
No, that don't count. That's ancient tech.
Right,
That's-
true. But I think that's what it's technology though, Chris,
it's supposed to
right?
be technology. It's supposed to be that these younger kids don't even know what VHSs are.
Yes.
And they have to they try to transfer it over to digital.
Yes.
Which you really can't get the issue of, oh my
Get
God.
out of here. I feel like we're just trying to give it like any credence just to
No.
say,
I mean,
it's
that's what I
technology.
believe. I believe that was the
That was-
technology because it is. It's a VHS. That's the only thing that's in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and-
technology.
Well, they have a cell phone too, but like, oh, well, because the phone couldn't get connected, should we say technology? Because there was
Yes, and we'll talk about that in episode 5 because that's what happened in episode
come on.
4. Well, with the paparazzi, like it was set in a time where technology was different, right? You know what I'm saying? So
I was about to say episode 5. I was like, I didn't know it existed.
I didn't like that one either. I didn't like Macy Day.
The paparazzi. Anyway, let's focus on this one. So, Jamani, what do you think about this episode?
I put it middle or maybe second to last, but I thought it was. I didn't know about the story like Kim was saying, so like I thought it more or less like Saw, like the first Saw, like it was, oh, the dead person is responsible for everything. Oh, okay, like that was the reveal for me, because I definitely didn't think the cop who got shot himself. So that's more or less what I was comparing it to. And I'm like, did the girlfriend get away?
No, she died in the river. So
Yeah.
earlier in the episode, the friend says how people die in the river. Like they made a passing reference towards that. So we're supposed to believe that her body just floated down the damn river and nobody found it, and the boyfriend didn't bother to go try to look for
But
it.
that didn't make any sense to
It
me
didn't-
because she hit her head on a rock. So how did she get to the river? Did she get up and we didn't see her get up?
No, she hit her head in the river, like she was trying to cross the river.
Oh,
and she hit
okay.
her
Maybe
head.
I missed that part.
But
Okay.
the water, but it still don't make no damn sense because like someone should have found that fucking body. Like he should have been like, oh my God, my girlfriend's dead. Like something should have happened. So I was really upset that that's the last time we see her. And I'm like, well, then she shouldn't have been in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then the boyfriend didn't really say anything about it. He was
That's
just
what I'm-
winning awards and
Yeah,
stuff.
so that was what I was like. So he's acting all nonchalant about it when they mention, she didn't make it. And then he goes back to the hotel room and he just looks at like some gold head statue or something. I was like, so I was like, is that an Easter egg or is that point back to? I'm like, I didn't get the end scene right there. It just
so I thought it was a mask. It's not. I think it's important that it was a mask. I think that's a legit trophy. I think in the UK, I think that's a legit trophy, like the way it looks. But I took it away from. I always thought since he saw a mask and his mom used to wear a mask when she was doing that wild shit, that maybe he was gonna like put on a mask and start doing some wild shit. Like that's what I thought was gonna happen. But then none of that happened. And I'm like, so what am I watching? Like I'm like that. But that's what I thought that was what it was supposed to symbolize. I thought because he also pulled out the letter from his mom that said this is for your film. So maybe that's the connect. So I don't know. But that's why this is like, what the fuck? And I thought it was gonna go racial. I thought it was gonna go like, okay, they're gonna hunt this poor black girl because she's American and some other shit, and then that didn't happen.
Well, I'm glad that didn't happen because I didn't want to see that.
Me too, because I was like, be damned, I don't need this bullshit right now. Like, give me something else. Like, I was like, this is where they're going with this.
Ancestry has proven there is a shit ton of black people related to Irish people. Okay.
It's just, I'm like, come on. I was like, please don't do this. But anyway, I'm happy. So I'm happy it didn't go that direction. I'm very happy it didn't go that direction. And I thought people were gonna be in that pie. Anyway, Jamon, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track. What you got?
Yeah, I like the found footage of it all, like just her letting the tape run out, and that's the aspect of VHS tapes is you can tape over something and you'll find something else that is still left on the tape, and all of that type of stuff. I like that, and I don't know why she just left it, like on display, so to say.
That's my
not hidden or anything like that. Like I don't.
That didn't make any sense. Why do you have your snuff films out there where anyone?
Because she's proud. Because it's her trophy and she's proud of it.
Yeah, but she had the box though, so she's not proud of everything. Like she had the box. Those specific murder tapes should have been in the box. But you have that shit out there where any random person can just pull up and be like, oh, I like Columbo too. And be like, bloop, and be like, oh, damn, you're a murderer, mama. Like,
what
I mean,
what I thought was gonna happen is because they had sex or whatever, and she was like, "There's no tape in or something." They were doing something with the camcorder. I thought that was gonna come back. Never didn't do anything.
So see, those were the Easter eggs that were supposed to get you there. Like it was like why would you have the camcorder anyway? This is supposed to be 2010, at least like 2010 at least, right? So the fact that there's even a VHS camera anyway is bullshit. And she's like, "Oh, there's a tape missing." I was like, there's something on those VHSs. I was like, there's some wild shit on those VHSs. And then I'm like, okay, now she's sucking dick with the VHS. And I'm like, is the mom gonna walk in and see that? And then she gonna be like, you doing wild sex shit with the VHS. But their mom did some wild sex shit with the VHS. And then none of that came together. So I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? I was like, I hear you. Then I thought the camcorder was gonna have blood on it. Like when they went into the room and they put the luminol or whatever, and everything was dark and shit, I thought they're gonna look at the camcorder from the family's house, and that shit was gonna be all green. They're gonna be like, "Oh, there's blood on the camcorder," and then that was gonna lead to something. But they said, "Fuck all that." I was like,
I thought there was gonna be some poison in that shepherd's pie because she was in the room watching the tape
while
she was cooking, and that never went anywhere. But I'll tell you this: when she got out the car, that was some of the most funniest cursing I've ever seen in my life.
The cunt. That's because she has an accent and just sounds funny. Chris, come on. I know you hate this episode. Tell what you got.
This is by far probably one of the most retarded last episodes Black Mirror's ever showcased. Fucking hated it. For one, I wanted fucking Black Mirror. I didn't need some low budget thriller. This wasn't even a good thriller. Like, for one, Black Mirror doesn't do shit like this. So I was pissed off about that alone. And then even if you do want to go like Sherlock Holmes on this shit, it just wasn't there. I hated how bad it had to rely on subtitles because goddamn, the accent was so fucking strong. I get it. They're British or whatnot, but damn, I have to do that when I watch anything coming out of Florida. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? But the black girl, I found her annoying. I was happy she died. I thought it was hilarious how she died. That was some typical horror movie shit. Oh, I'm running away. Oh, I tripped. They did that with Shannon Elizabeth in the movie Scary Movie. The Wayans brothers did that shit already. Right? Yeah. So it was dumb. The VHS shit, it was stupid, man. Like, I just knew, I was like, maybe the highlight is going to be something that she wrote something profound in her note to her son. And it wasn't. It was just like, use this for your tape. I'm like, nigga, really? Like, what? Like, it's just dumb. And then he wins back. It's just, I fucking hated it so much. And then they had one of my favorite actors to do from Spartacus and this shit. I'm glad he didn't have that much screen time because he probably was like, yeah, I don't want to be involved in this shit. Like, I got other stuff I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Oh, the father. I'm talking about the father.
Yeah. So they wound up having just the dude from Game of Thrones, making all the you know what I mean? It was very, very lackluster. I did not care about the whole so-and-so got shot. Oh yeah, he deserved to get. It's just nothing. It wasn't a good build-up, right? I mean, I think every episode of Black Mirror usually tries to have is to showcase a message. And I guess all they were trying to showcase with their messaging was just the idea of people just being relentless when it comes to reporting and documentaries, that they don't care what it does, even if it means hurting other people. But motherfucker, the kid did it to himself. The kid was like, yes. It just nothing made sense. It just didn't make sense. I thought maybe the kid was going to turn into a killer at the end himself. No, it was just dumb. I just didn't understand. Because now I start thinking okay, was the old woman not going to kill the black girl or whatnot? So dumbass chick just wound up falling down like an idiot into the water or whatnot on a rock. That's a hilarious way to go. When you talk to St. Peter's, the angel's gonna be laughing at you forever on that one. That's just ridiculous. I hated this. I just wanted to quote freaking Billy Madison. I award you no points and have got mercy on your soul. All of us in this room are now dumber for having to watch this. Okay? Straight up.
Damn, Chris.
This is not a good Black Mirror episode. damn. And the funny thing is, Joan is Awful was not even really a great episode, but when I had to watch it all as far as all 5 episodes, I was like, holy shit, they made Joan is Awful like the standout one, in my opinion. You know what I mean? All the other ones are kind of like trash. I mean, I guess the 5th one's a little different, whatever. But it was just like, yeah, man. So that's why I'm at with it. There was nothing technology wise in it. I call bullshit on the whole VHS thing being technically, oh, that's technology. Shut the hell up. There ain't no Black Mirror
Technology.
Just because we know the technology does not mean
that it's not.
It's always about futuristic technology. It's never present day. Black Mirror's technology is never present day. So
but I think what you're trying to do is box them in. You can't box Black Mirror in.
Yeah.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and
the writers do what they do.
And this is historical technology. This is not present day. So that's the opposite. Like I said, this probably for social media kids who are truly like, what the fuck is a VHS?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So this is like looking back for them. It's common for us. But I'm sure there's a generation.
But I guess my thing is, even with the okay, fine. If we want to go that route, even if we want to talk about, oh well, it is technology with the VHS thing. The thing is, it wasn't even like done in that creative manner that Black Mirror has always done when it comes to technology or whatnot. They always find like, okay, well, here's how you have an implant into your eyes as far as like you being able to rewind back in what you did during the day. This is the implication of what that could lead. There was nothing there. I was just showing that motherfuckers just love recording shit.
I think what it was is that
people record murders all the time. Like what?
No, I think what they were trying to say, which I don't like this episode, don't get me wrong, but I feel like what they were trying to say is when people like me were doing all these VHS tapes and stuff, right? Those things
I was kind of
okay. It's just like what we do now with our phones, right? We're recording all this information and then we throw it on the internet. And you're not thinking this is out there forever for billions of people to see. VHSs, you may put them down in your basement or put them up in your closet, but they can come back to bite you in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Like we videotape ourselves doing shit we shouldn't. How many people went to jail for, what that was going on? People have gone to jail for videotaping sex. And beating children or beating their wife. And so I think it's more so they were trying to give us a lesson of technology is yes, it's for us to share things, but certain things should be off limits.
I think it's to the point where
they've done better versions of this. They've already had episodes like this, but done it way better. You know what I mean? So why are we all of a sudden recreating a wheel? But like, guess what? We're now going to use actual VHSs. Coming up next episode, cassette tapes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we did it before with DVDs, but I mean, did it with CDs, but now we're going to just do cassette tapes where you got to use a pencil to rewind. Like what are we doing, Black Mirror? Like, what the hell?
They went really retro. Backwards. They just went all the way back. Yeah.
No, it's like when you
anything new from something they have not already done. Not to mention, episode 4 kind of was like that too, in the sense of like just talking about greed and you just trying to record everything. It's like Black Mirror always has always have done several episodes before that. So it just seems like just running out of ideas. So they're like, well, let's just go back in time. Matter of fact, hell, the majority of all these episodes, they were like, oh, let's rewind the clock, several years or decades.
Yeah, that's true. That was a common theme.
That was a common theme. That was common.
This is the weakest. I'm sorry. This is the weakest season that Black Mirror has ever come out with. Sorry.
No, I can say, I would say that's true.
Yeah, a lot of celebrity. They kicked up the celebrity cameos though. Anyway, what's up?
Yeah, they did.
I was saying that there's a lot of people now who are getting in trouble for either live streaming or either putting out videos or whatever, and them having done stuff in the videos that are probably illegal or unethical and things of that.
Yeah, like killing your wife on camera.
Yeah.
Slashing a gun when you're supposed to be an NBA player and you're supposed to just
so I'm saying I think that this is to the point of it being this isn't anything new. This is something that's always been done. It's just the matter of the
technology
can be distributed. You know what I mean? You couldn't broadcast it to the world before, but people have been recording stuff that they shouldn't have been recording.
True.
And I think that's more of the message, Chris. Because like when we think about social media, the kids these days who do it live, right? Like again, do you not realize that people are watching this shit? But like back in our day, we were like, well, it's on VHS. Like who's gonna see it? Well, even then, it could get out and you can get in trouble. You know,
yeah, so like you think about Pam and Tommy Lee, like it was, oh, this is a tape. It's in our house.
Yeah,
we didn't think that
until it's not.
Yeah. And it was locked in their safe. That's crazy too, because you put something in a safe, you think the only person that could get to it is me or the other person, right? No, they were able, the contractors got in their safe and he took it and then spread that thing all over the world. Like she will never live that down, and neither will Tommy. Like it's forever.
I mean, but I guess, okay, here's the deal. Even if stuff, it was harder to get a hold of because those VHS compared to like you record it and it's done online and whatnot. What the hell? Like we have all kinds of stuff like Disney, old school Disney stuff that was on VHS. The majority of us now somehow has it on Disney Plus and all kinds of different formats. That's nothing new. You know what I mean? The hell, the mother voluntarily gave up the VHSs, you know, when she thought she got God. It just wasn't anything profounding to me whatsoever. To me, it was just a waste of fucking 55 minutes of my life. That's what this was. It was annoying. It was just like, I was just like, okay, let me go to, all right, maybe the next one will be like more positive and whatnot. I didn't know the third one was just even more depressing. But anyway, but yeah. So yeah, I hear y'all. Like the medium itself was harder, but that does not, so that means Netflix is going to get a pass as far as just having an episode where they're just going to have something recorded on a cassette tape, because that's also harder because it's not on anything where it's actually digital right there. So now all of a sudden, it's new because it's a retro cassette tape. What are we going to do next? A Betamax? Like what? Like, come on, man.
Where was the technology in episode 5? There was no technology in that.
Wait. We will.
Don't worry, Jamani.
We will get there. We will get there. We'll get there. But for this episode, I did like the fact that the best friend was right when he said if we put this out, the city will be, will get tourists, and all of a sudden, like everybody won except for the guy, right? So, and I was like, the city won. So he was like, oh God, like we're something, right? Then the documentary company, like they overshadowed him with his own documentary. Like I think part of it was to say like he's over there in the corner. I think they made a point of showing that while this woman is up there like, hey, this is my film and da. So he always got overshadowed over that. So I thought that was part of his angst of why he was sitting there like, hey, life ain't shit. I was hoping that his girlfriend was in fact a secret relative of one of the people that his family killed. Like she knew who he was and knew who his family was, and like got him to get to the mom so she could kill him and be like, why are you killing my mom? Like they killed my relative. Like that would have been something to me to tie this shit together, because I was like,
and like she's the crazy ass, no eyebrows and the stupid ass hair color and whatever the fuck that was on her teeth. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. That would have made more sense. Like, he looks ridiculous. Okay,
I thought the old man was gonna have a better reveal though. Like, he there was no reason for him to have been in the story at all. Like him being in the hospital.
Okay, I know you're
coming and telling him, I've had a suspicion. So
no. I thought he was gonna murder that boy. I was like, why are there only 2 people in this whole fucking hospital? Like that looked kind of strange. I was like, oh, he's about to kill this dude. So I thought that was gonna be something. But yeah, it didn't go. I do agree it didn't go that many places. The mother could have killed, like he could, the boy could have got out, found his mom killing his girlfriend, and then what the fuck? And then he finds the video. Like the girlfriend was completely unnecessary, just absolutely necessary. Like I know it was her idea to make the documentary, but that could have been his friend's idea. And those 2 together could have been like, hey, let's make a documentary about the murders in the town and da. And the ending would still have been the same. I mean, it's like she played no part, and she was too much of a centerpiece, really, in this story, and it really didn't go anywhere.
What was the mother's whole diatribe about her hating the killer? Right, knowing the truth and blaming the illness that he eventually died from on the killer. I was like, why is this a thing? Because if finding out later he shot himself, so why is there this transference or
Yes,
of
I will.
like
I will help you. I will help you tell this story because he murdered your father. I'm like, no, actually, your father murdered
Yeah,
himself.
exactly.
So I'm like, why the fuck are you helping?
no, it was just funny when it was like he was at like going to the different companies. They were like, so was your father a victim? Not necessarily, kind of, but
We'll get to. Well, I think at the time that they were pitching it, he was a victim. He was a victim. Like he didn't find that
no,
out.
I'm saying in the sense of they were saying, was he one of the people that he murdered? And it was like, no, he was not one of the people in the basement because he didn't die. He ended up dying from the
Later.
the MRSA or whatever it was in the hospital.
Yeah, it was a hard stretch. It was a hard sell for that movie thing. Yeah, it was a lot. But again, it was also part again of the Streamberries like what to watch and Joan is awful, which is why I say this would have been a good episode 1. So you can see the advertisement for the documentary in episode 2. So it's like, oh, I remember that, and then that kind of ties those 2 episodes together. Like I was like, okay, now we're gonna see another part of the story. But anyway, Beyond the Sea with Jesse Pinkett. And
the dude from Pearl Harbor.
And Lucky Number 11. And I was actually talking to my friend Ebony about that movie yesterday. I was like, I know that dude from somewhere. He got old.
You don't recognize him from Pearl Harbor either, though?
Nah, that movie was shit. But I mean, I like Lucky Number 11. Yeah, that's it. He was the go-to dude after a Black Hawk Down, and then he just stopped. After a while. But anyway, who actually liked this episode?
I did.
All right. Let's start with we'll go Kim, Jamani, and then Chris. Kim, what you think about this episode?
I liked it. It was just like a mini movie. I thought it was unique, right? Because it was technology, right? That could possibly happen. Like you never know. You say that, yeah, you got that side look, but you never know. They might be able to. Hey, AI is blowing up right now. Okay,
I'm not saying
people got robots that look like us, talk like us. They having sex with them. I mean,
the concept's not. It's altered carbon. Like this is altered carbon.
I was about to say
at the beginning stages. Like I was like, okay, this is okay. They're like the basic of that. Did you see that? That's a great show.
What Carbon? Yeah,
Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen had Anthony Mackie. I don't know if you saw that, Kim.
Yeah, I saw it. I did.
Yeah, that's the transfer thing got. But anyway, we get to the murder mystery, whatever, or something.
Yeah. So I actually enjoyed it because to me it was like a mini movie, right? And then you really saw the difference between the 2 men. The only problem I had with this was the ending. I was like, what in the fuck? Like, how do you do that to someone else's family because you're pissed off about your own family, right? And so I was like, that was terrible. I was like, this is horrible. But I like the acting of it. I thought the acting was well done. Everybody did their job. The wife, Lorna, whatever her name was, she played the lonely wife, and David played he's out there. He's like, yeah, let's have sex, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, him and his wife had a more lively marriage, right? The marriage that you want, right? You're having fun, you're dancing, you're having sex all the time. And then what's his name? Cliff. Oh my God, he barely even he was there, but he wasn't really there. Like when he would go visit, he was so strict on his kid. Like he was an unhappy dude. And he wanted his wife to be happy. I'm like, you don't even look at this woman. You don't kiss her. You don't hug her. You don't do anything. You don't kiss and hug your kid. You treat him like he's in the military, So I like the way that they showed the contrast between the 2 husbands. And I like the technology. That would be cool if you could, just go to sleep and then your conscience, your conscious mind is in a replica of you. And man, I'd love to do that. I could go to sleep and not work and have my replica do my job. Okay, that's cool, but yeah, so I enjoyed it. I liked it. I just thought that the ending was just like, so basically, because these 2 men are on this spacecraft that needs 2 men, Cliff can't kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I saw it. He can't kill David, because when David kicked the chair and was like, have a seat, it was like Cliff has no choice but to stay on the spaceship with him, because it's a 2-man operation. Because why? I would have killed David if he killed my family. So,
well, okay. So, you good? Because okay.
Yeah.
So Jamani, what you got?
All right, so I really liked it, this episode. I was like, this is, it almost had what, like Charles Manson vibes in that one scene.
Yeah, definitely.
But we were talking about was it 21 Space Odyssey a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, this really, I swear I thought it was kind of going, and then every time it was going somewhere, it just never went to that spot that I thought it was going to go. Like, my expectations were constantly subverted, because I thought when Aaron Paul's character said, you can use my link, right? I thought, okay, so the Josh Hartnett character was going to use the link to then, like, not necessarily do anything to his family, but to leave, just like get in the car and hunt down the people who actually did whatever to his family and try to revenge against them in some sort of way. But he didn't give anything, he didn't care anything about that. I think that it was more or less a story of, you can't give everybody hope. This is why, people in New York, let people be, right? And no good deed goes unpunished. So it's you kind of, it was more or less misery loves company. It was like, hey man, like, I've seen it time and time again, like, throughout my life. People will rather destroy something than let somebody else have it. So even if it's not even theirs.
All right. So that's how you say. All right, Chris, what you got?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Damani. I was not a fan of this episode myself. I liked it in the beginning. I thought it was pretty good. Like, I'll start off with the positive stuff. I would say special effects wise, it was really good. Especially when Mr. Charles Manson wannabe took off the arm and whatnot. I thought that was good, as well as them actually walking out into the space station stuff. I thought that was decent, as well as the set designs. I thought that stuff was good, as well as the acting. I will say this is, as far as acting wise, this is probably the strongest episode, especially just watching Aaron Paul's face, especially when Josh Hartnett takes his replica and whatnot. You saw him like looking at the sky and whatnot, like him feeling hopeful again and whatnot. You just saw like a tear come down. I was like, okay, that's some really great acting. Unfortunately, the story did not match up. And I was not a fan. I had so many freaking questions. For starters, if you're telling me that these machines could do pretty much everything, right? Everything, why the hell aren't you bringing the fucking machines up in the space station instead? Why is it that it doesn't make any sense? It should have been vice versa. I thought it was stupid. I thought there was going to be a line in there about that. So I'm like, oh, well, the machines, for some reason, they can't handle the anti-gravity. Nothing.
Wait, that's my question. That was my biggest question.
Try to explain this. Try to explain this.
No, that was my biggest question, right? I forgot about that until you just said it.
Yeah.
I've never seen any movie like, or a show like, there was no gravity. I mean, there was gravity on the spaceship. How was there gravity in the spaceship? Like, what did they create?
Yeah. Why are they not floating?
Gravity.
Why are they not floating? In 2020, they would be floating. Like, how the fuck they walking around like this is the Starship Enterprise? Like they all of a sudden solved the gravity problem. I didn't even think about, but
that was what I was like.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't even think of that, Jamani. I just enjoyed the acting. But you're absolutely right. It should have been where they're like floating around.
A little
Yeah.
bit, just a little
Because
bit.
they're like,
Just-
we have to come back every Friday to
Yeah.
do the physical to run on a treadmill. You can't run on a treadmill if there's 0 G's.
Right.
That's a all.
That's
facts.
absolutely the truth. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That one I had huge questions with that. I did not understand that shit. I also knew the moment that this dude Aaron was going to give up his freaking like whatever the hell you call
Lifeline,
it.
his replica.
I just knew it was
His
going to be bad.
replica. Yeah.
I just knew it was going to be bad. I'm like, no, this ain't going to be good, right? And I did not understand. I mean, this is where all of a sudden, like, I freaking hated Jesse Pinkman because I was just thinking, like, dude, your wife does not like what was going on. Like, you know what I mean? She's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, and the whole thing, like, okay, fine. The whole talking about, oh, well, yeah, he was just disciplining the kid. Okay, beyond that or whatnot, that's another man in your house when you're not there.
Right.
You already see how unstable he is,
Yep.
like person and whatnot. What? Like, why is this even a thing? So, yeah, and I thought I didn't understand that. The ending, I obviously saw the ending coming. I thought, to be honest with you, though, I actually thought that he was just going to rape her. I thought that's what we were going to get, but it was worse than that. But to be honest with you,
You don't know what
I'm
happens.
I'm gonna pull the seat out or whatnot. This is why I call the Biggs bullshit. And I'm like, yo, let that be a black person up there on that space station. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just gonna die up here because I'm killing you, bitch. Like you dead.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm dead too. But
Yeah.
guess what else do I have to live for? You killed my kid.
Yep.
You killed
That's
my
it.
I got nothing now. I got nothing. So yeah, you're dead. Like I'm gonna have to deal with you another year and a half. Nah, let a brother be up there. Like, oh yeah, let's do it realistically. Okay, this was ridiculous. I thought that was a ridiculous ending. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. It's just, I don't know. I got no words because everything else, the setups made it seem like it was going to be really great, and it had all the
potential,
little
settings,
pieces,
the
the little pieces to make it great. But it's just the storytelling is where it just lacked. The acting was great. The actors were great. The special effects were great. But the story was like, no, like it was just missed the mark completely. You know what I mean? So, you know, that being said, there was technology in this one. So there was technology in this. So, okay.
There you go.
I kind of want a sequel because I want to see what he didn't disable the replica. So what happens to the replica down on Earth afterwards? Because I'm like, he's responsible for this whole thing. What like is one of like they're so against being, you know, to themselves in the space station or, you know, the spacecraft. Are they gonna use the link again and be in jail, or what exactly is going to happen with this replica now that there's only one of and they want to use it?
Yeah, I was thinking like, shouldn't they bring the spaceship back and then arrest them? Like, shouldn't they be arrested? Like, what the hell?
I don't know. I felt so.
And then how did Charles Manson like even found him in the first place and all this other? It's just, I don't know. So many questions.
Well,
No.
They found him because of the movie. They saw him at the movie theater, and I guess, you know, whoever saw when they introduced themselves, I guess they followed them home. I guess that night.
But
But-
I mean, but that begs the question: when the guy walked into the bookstore lady who's like, I know you, I know where you live, I would have been like, we're moving immediately because my first family just got murdered. Like, why am I so okay with some random stranger knowing I'm a replica? This is where my family lives. The last time this happened, my family got murdered and I had to watch. So this is where we're not staying, right? Like that should have been a conversation, which didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yep.
like I said, Aaron Paul should have murdered that dude. We're dying together. Like what we're not doing is sitting up here together. And then I thought, okay, so he's gonna take over Aaron Paul's family. He's gonna kill Aaron Paul and just assume the family.
That's what I thought. That's
Right,
exactly what I thought. Yep.
Hey baby, how you doing? Everything's fine. You know, and I was like, oh, so that's what's gonna happen. Then I thought, okay, the wife is gonna be like, I'd rather have the other guy instead of my husband. So go up there, kill, like she's in on it. Like go up there, kill him, and then we could be a family. And then that didn't happen. Then I was like, well, maybe Aaron Paul is gay. And that's why he doesn't show his wife any affection. Maybe that's why. So like maybe he wants to be with old boy. And then maybe he's like, okay, so maybe that's the thing. Like he's jealous of his wife because he sees his wife that his wife is into him, but he's also into him. And then I was like, well, maybe that's
Vipers. Are we doing Striking Vipers again?
I thought I was like,
Or we doing
explain why he's loveless to his wife.
Okay,
loveless to his child. Like it has to be something. So like, did she cheat on him before? Like none of this gets explained.
It doesn't get explained, but I noticed that was something off of him from the very first scene. Because he was out chopping wood and he chopped that wood he put his foot on the stump and it was so close. It was just like reckless. And I was like, why the hell is he doing that? Like, and that was before I even knew he was a replica, right? And he was just constantly kept doing like disassociative stuff. Like, oh yeah, I think the kid needs something to eat. Can you go make him something? It was just like, he wasn't even looking at her when he was talking. It was just like, I think he is like, if I can't be there with you, I'm just doing this, like as he said for him, like to get some fresh air, to not be in that cabin fever, claustrophobic thing. It's just something for him. It's not necessarily like a give and take, so to say. He told them to move out there so they're secluded. He knows that they're more or less safe from whatever happened. Like the city of people finding him or wanting to be involved, like, in the whole hoopla of them being replicas because they're secluded, they're away.
They're not, because the woman knows exactly where they live. A strange woman was just like, hey, you moved into town. You're a replica.
Yeah. And I'm saying, that's what do you call it? Josh Hartnett, right?
Yeah.
He said, do you think he'll mind if we go into town together? The wife did that, right? Because he had never gone into town. That's why they said it was like the first time them meeting him, because he knew better than to do that.
So, but either way, they know. I'm saying if the man knows that my family, like I said, my family just got murdered. Like I thought he was gonna run off with the family. Like why do I have to come back? Like if I'm in this, if life is again like altered carbon. If what your mind perceives is your reality. So this is my new reality. This is my wife. This is my kid now, and I'm leaving you on that space station because why do I have to come back? Like they never established why they have to come back at any given moment, and it doesn't make any sense that you don't have a backup replica. Like because anything could happen to that replica. You know what I'm saying? So and then if you could just switch replicas,
it's not. That's like more of a comfort. That's not like something that's mandatory. You can just like, it could be like a space mission, like you go off now. You go off for years and then you come back. Like, because they said this is 2 years into a 6-year mission.
But anything can happen. So if I got this replica, also just radios, you could call home. Like Aaron Paul could have been like, yo, I don't have to come out. What's going on in my house? Like he could have called down to be like, this man murdered my family, to your point, and he needs to be arrested. I just killed him. So we need to send somebody up here to get me out of here because I just murdered this dude. Also, he could kill him and go back to his replica. Actually, if you don't mind leaving his human body and staying in a replica, he could easily kill that dude and just go back to his replica and be like, my family was killed by my co-pilot who's on the station, and I'm home now.
But how do you prove that though? How do you prove that that he did that? Because he was, you know what I'm saying? He was
using your link because that was his dog tag.
But that's digital. You would think with that kind of technology they can track that, right? Like his signal has to be different than Aaron Paul's signal. It has to be. So I'm sure the NASA, whoever's tracking that shit, goes, oh wait a minute, the signature is different. It can't be the same.
No. But remember, he's using Aaron Paul's dog tags. That's how you identify who they are. So if Josh is using Aaron Paul's dog tags, how do you distinguish between
Aaron Paul was outside? There should be footage.
He was, well, but is there a camera out there proving he was out there?
You would imagine he was one. There was because there was monitors watching him. Like we saw him on the monitor.
Oh, okay.
So
that could be CCTV. It doesn't mean that it's recorded and saved.
It's in the. if they have a space station, they're recording the events because if both of them die up there, they have to know what happens.
They record everything.
Yeah, don't do that. Like NASA's tracking all that shit. Like they're not just up there hanging out and they call back home. Like all that stuff is being tracked. So I mean, it was like again, the ending was shit. Like if he would have killed, they would have killed one another. That would have been something. If the space station would have blew up, it was a shitty ending. Like it was not.
Yeah, the ending was terrible.
I'm like, he kicked out the chair, but you don't know what happens 5-10 seconds later. I'm like, he didn't.
But what do you think happened? What, in your opinion, what do you think happened?
I don't know. I think it's left open for a reason. I'm like, I can tell you what I would do, but I'm saying I think it's a matter of we never saw him actually sit down in the chair.
No, but we saw him get mighty calm though.
Yes.
He went from being like really raging to just stopping in his tracks. I'm sorry, if you're going to kill someone, you're not going to just stop in place like, oh, there's a chair there. He just stood right there, which tells me he would have sat down.
He got over it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If he was still, if he did not give a shit and he was going to kill him, there wouldn't have been a pause there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There would have been no pause.
Yeah.
But when he sat down in the chair, he was like, you know what? He's right. I reckon. Like, no.
I think it might have been also a matter of he did this because he wants me to do this. And I'm not going to give him what he wants. He wants to die.
Well, then he's going to die.
Yeah,
but
he
definitely going to die.
No, but I'm saying sometimes people are like, knowing the fact that you want to die and you did this so that I will kill you, I won't give you that reaction. I'll make you suffer by not killing you.
Come on. I don't think it was thinking. You're thinking way too deep.
I think that the look on Aaron Paul's face, he was distraught, like he was crying. But then when he kicked the chair, when David kicked the chair, he was like, "What?" Like stop for a second, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
that's why I said that's why I think that it should have been called Misery Loves Company. That's what the episode should have been titled.
But they should I feel like they should have gave us a lunging scene and then cut it off. You know what I mean? Like he did that, and then
or as sad as we don't want to see it, he actually does sit down. And we don't need to talk. If he just would have sat down, then we would have been like, this motherfucker. And then that would have been it. But we know his decision. We know his decision. Does he attack or does he just go with the situation and then it just floats off into the space? You know, then
they left it to our interpretation.
And I don't
know we think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that bullshit.
If it was me, he would have been dead.
He would have been
dead.
And think of how long this episode was. This episode was so long, you would imagine that they would have there would have been like a
definitive ending.
Yeah.
So the last two they give anyway. So let's move on to Maisie Day. The paparazzi.
We do get a definitive ending.
Huh?
I said where we do get a definitive ending.
Well, we do get a definitive ending. Anybody? Does everybody say fuck it? I'll start there.
Comparative to the last two, this is manageable. I would say it's manageable. I'm not saying not like, but it's manageable compared to the last two. I'll say that. That is not me giving a thumbs up by any means. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like.
Tell us why you like.
Because I'm like I thought it was the worst.
Do you want me to go
too? Thank you, Jemani.
Dave, you want me to go first?
All right.
Let's switch. All right. Okay. All right. So I find it interesting that 2 episodes before that, when they were with Lock Henry, they brought up the whole Princess Diana thing. When I thought it was more appropriate to bring up the whole Princess Diana incident in this episode, if anything. Well, even though, this took place early 2000s, I guess.
This one?
Early.
Early, because they said Siri was born. So I'm like, this is like
2010.
7,
I still had dial-up internet, and that phone, that flip phone. I'm feeling 2010 something, but somewhere
Flip is back. Flip phones are back.
But no, but
she had
internet,
nano and all.
So, and the cameras were this fucking big. Like these weren't like I'm feeling. I was like, this is 2000. This is 2000 before 2010. I'm saying no later 2010.
I don't know. Can somebody Google when Siri was born? Because that was like the thing that they said on the radio to start the episode. So that's like tell you
that's an indicator. Go ahead, Chris. We'll look it up.
I'll say this. As far as the direction of the episode going, this one was the biggest shocker to me. Right? I'm one of the biggest shockers. Like a lot of times when I'm watching the episode, I can see maybe because I watch a lot of sci-fi, I watch a lot of movies with twists or whatnot. I always like after watching Sixth Sense when I was a kid, I realized don't ever take a movie for granted. In a sense, like always look twice, always look at a movie, and be like, oh wait, oh, you know what I mean? But so I always see stuff coming when it comes to Black Mirror. This one, I did not see that coming at all. I was like, I what I thought was going to happen was you're going to see the paparazzi be hit with like maybe a big time murderer or something like that, you know, who chained her up in the bedroom. But then when they went back to when she hit that girl or that thing, I was like, oh shit, oh, it's turned into straight up American Werewolf in London. Okay, yeah, I was like, okay, you know. So in that sense, I enjoyed the fact that it took me in a different direction. And it had a story. It was way too in your face, I felt, because all the paparazzi members pretty much were all assholes.
Yeah,
they were all assholes. They did too. I mean, you know, not that any of them are like angels or anything like that, but they made too much of a point showing like, oh, look how much of a jerks these guys were. So you just know damn well, oh, they're going to get theirs. You know what I mean? It was just like you saw that to the point where even one of the guys, you thought one of the guys was good until he takes the dude's cameras instead of him. It reminded me of that Walking Dead episode when freaking when it was Otis was left behind by
oh yeah,
Rick's friend. What's Rick's friend?
Shane
just kind of kidding him. Was like, yo, you're slower. I got to, you
know. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, yes, buddy. That's what it reminded me of. And the end, I did like the idea that even though she's supposed to be seen as the good guy, at the end of the day, she still is who she is. And she is still a paparazzi in the sense of like, she's going to get that story. And then so she gave her that gun and she clicked. I was like, oh, damn. Like she's kind of a monster herself still. You know what I mean? Yes. So I like that. I like that idea. That being said, and I thought that her transforming was awesome. I thought that was great. That being said, that is not Black Mirror. Black Mirror does not do science fiction like this. I thought this episode and the fifth one, I was like, when does Black Mirror do like stuff with werewolves and demons? Like what? Like it was just weird. I was just like, this is way too sci-fi for Black Mirror. Okay, all right. I was like, okay, are they just running out of ideas? So now they're taking stuff from the Cabinet of Curiosities of you know, with Guillermo del Toro. Like, what is that? What we're doing here? You know what I mean? You know, so I like Zazie Beetz. I think she's an awesome actress and whatnot. But there was elements I just thought to me just did not sit right for Black Mirror. However, that was some terrifying shit in that diner. That diner thing, I thought the diner scene was something serious. The whole time I was like, oh fuck. So for that reason alone, this is not low on the list for me. You know what I mean? I still have gripes, obviously, but this one's a little bit. This one goes higher up because of that. Because of more of just like, oh shit, oh Bruce Willis was dead at the whole movie. Like it was that for me.
So that's why this is my number 2. This is my number 2 episode. 5 was my number 1 personally, but I like this one because it was a definitive ending. Did not see the werewolf coming. I think for Black Mirror, as it tries to make you think, I thought like, she killed a person. We first perceived that one ran and therefore she's a monster, right? Because she killed someone and then she became a real monster, right? But then once you find out it's a werewolf, are you somehow less sympathetic? Is she somehow less of a monster because she killed a werewolf? That's still a person. Like I felt like I was like, are we supposed to go, oh, that's okay because she killed the werewolf? No, that werewolf was a person, so it's still not okay.
No. I think it did tell you that it wasn't okay. Which was why, especially when she snapped her, because you're thinking like, oh, she's allowing her to take her own life. You know what I mean?
No. I'm saying when you find out the celebrity that the person that the celebrity killed, that it wasn't a person, it was a werewolf. That's what I'm saying. Like, are we supposed to go, oh, like she's not that bad of a person? Like she hit a werewolf instead of a human. I'm like, that's still a human. So like, are we supposed to feel some way about this? I'm like, no.
I think that was just the origin story.
I didn't. That was my thing. I was like, maybe they're trying to.
No, because if you remember when she was driving, like that thing, whatever came, just kind of came really fast. So, like, I'm sorry, I don't care if you were. I mean, if you were sober or you were like paying attention, like to both 9, was it 10 and 2 or whatnot? There was no way a regular old person is not going to hit whatever the hell that was in the middle of the thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I didn't look like, it didn't seem like she was just like out there like getting freaking a blowjob or some shit like that, and all of a sudden here comes this thing in the middle of the thing. It wasn't like that. It wasn't anything like that.
She was high on drugs and alcohol. Like she not should have been driving. Like that's under the influence.
She couldn't even see her hand in front of her face.
Yeah, man, she should not have been driving. That was her fault. Like whatever she hit, she killed that thing, and that was her fault. But she did.
She did kill it because it bit her apparently.
Well, I'm saying so again. Are we supposed to feel less bad for her because it was a werewolf that she hit, and not like a helpless?
No,
person?
I don't think that plays into it. It's just the origin story of how she got to be a werewolf.
Yeah, I did wonder in any good writing, really, there should have been stories, and maybe there was, and we didn't hear it, of like people disappearing around where she was, like in the set or something, like so we could be like, oh, there was a werewolf running around or some shit. Like there was no, hey, don't go out at night just because, or just something in the newspaper, just so we can go, oh, that's why so and so disappeared or something. Because it's just weird that this werewolf's been running around this small city while these people are filming the movie, and nobody knows anybody disappearing or dying from the set or anything like that. And I was like, all right, but
I think it was a matter of her being a celebrity, and the bigger story was her celebrity and her getting fired off of the set.
Well, I'm saying why
the set was. Like this movie was crazy. A lot of stuff was going on, but the bigger story is the celebrity, and she got fired and sent home, and nobody's seen her since. So that's what the story is for
in America.
Yeah,
I'm talking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about locally. Like when she gets the drugs from one of the guys on the crew, like for example, like he's like the little, I guess the grip or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was some kind of mention of like, oh, we haven't seen Bob in a couple of days, like whatever, just to be something like, anyway, I'm just saying, just like the mask. You saw the mask, and then the mask comes back, right? They'd be like, oh, maybe that's the creature that got rid of Bob. Like the drug dealer disappeared. The drug dealer's gone. What happened to the drug dealer? We don't know. And then anyway, I just would like that. But like I said, I didn't see the werewolf coming. I like the transformation in the paparazzi woman. She went from, oh my God, I caused this person's death, I don't want to do this shit anymore, to let me watch this woman kill herself in high definition photo because this is what I'm about, that life. And I was like that was awesome. So I agree with you. Yeah. It was the werewolf that took it to the next level. I was like, this is a good episode. And I was like, I didn't see it coming. So and neither did they apparently. But then to sit there watch it, like, wow, she's turning into a werewolf. Hold up, get over there, and they're still standing there shooting. I'm like,
that was a little much.
That's not realistic. That's not really. That's horror movie 101, where you're like, okay, all you are gonna die because you're stupid and you deserve to be murdered.
But
right?
they were trying to show that paparazzi is they'll do anything for your picture. That's what it was. It was, of course, normally you'd run away, right? But no, they were trying to emphasize that paparazzi will do anything to get a picture of a celebrity, especially a celebrity who is in a downward spiral. They're animals towards those celebrities. Yeah, that's how Princess Diana died. I mean, she was running away from paparazzi who were relentlessly chasing her car because a picture of her, especially with her boyfriend, was worth $2,000, which doesn't seem like it's a lot, but to paparazzi, that's their job. That's a lot, right? So that's what they were trying
I wonder what
$30,000
is pretty steep. I'm trying to think, like even getting the first picture of Kim Kardashian's baby. I don't know. Was it even that much? I mean,
I think Kim Kardashian's baby was like 10,000, something like that.
10,000, yeah, but she wasn't seen for a couple of days, so 30. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you got her turned into a werewolf. That's you're set for life because you got movie rights, you got TV show rights, like you got a lot of good footage, and you're the only one left because
and there's a new rule with paparazzi. Like, say they take a picture of a celebrity, right? Mm-hmm. Say Tom Cruise, right? They take that picture, that celebrity, and no one else can use that picture at all. It belongs to them until they sell it to someone else. And when you sell the picture to someone else, then that person owns that picture and that person can use it. But the celebrity themselves, they cannot use it. Because I saw that on TMZ where the paparazzi was suing stars who were using pictures that they took of them on social media, and they were suing the stars. I was like, that's crazy.
I can explain that from a legal perspective. It's like if you have a piano you play something on that piano, that's your copywritten work. You can copyright
Right.
that. The
Right.
piano company can't come and say, you're using my piano to make this music. You
Yeah.
can't, the celebrity can't say, you're using my image
Likeness.
to do, because they took the picture, that's their copyright.
Right.
Yeah.
So the celebrity isn't a part of the equation. They own the copyright because they took the picture. So
Yeah.
I would want this longer. I want a couple more kills on the werewolf's belt. She only had one.
but
Was-
all right,
yeah.
so can I go? I want to just, I can explain this because I'm into, I guess you say, like fables and
I was like, werewolves, man. What you got?
no, I'm saying like there's always a story about, you get what you ask for, or be careful what you ask for, different things like that. And that's more or less what this story is. It's I think I forget the name of the main character,
Paparazzi woman.
That's
Yeah.
just far
Bo.
as
Her name was Bo.
Zazie Beats. Zazie Beats.
Yeah. So
Her name was Bo.
Bo. Okay, so
in the
Bo-
show, in the Bo won it. Go.
Okay, so Bo was the last person to probably get it, and I think that's probably thematically because she was the one who wanted to free her because she thought that something bad was, so to say, happening to her.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just wanted to exploit the situation. She wanted to actually, she said,
Okay.
aside from me being a paparazzi right now, I'm gonna be a regular human and try to free her because this is just wrong, right?
Yeah.
Not
Right.
knowing what she was getting into. And I guess that's more or less a situation of she bought, why would anybody buy out a whole rehab place, right? Like that just sounded off to me as the guy in the diner was telling it. It just didn't make any sense. So I was like, what is
That made sense to me. That
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I've seen it before with paparazzi, especially when they think that there might be a leaker within the actual rehab app stuff. They will rent. They at times, especially if it's a
no,
big
but I'm saying they
Like-
were. I'm saying like to what degree? Like the
The-
masseuse,
the-
everybody, all these people who work there are gone. So I'm like, she's just in there alone. They basically just left her alone. So I was like, who is actually giving the treatment? Who's running the place? I was saying in the
It was
sense
that guy
of
we
that,
saw.
in that regard.
It was
that
the,
guy.
it was
he
the guy. It was the doctor who chained her to the thing. Like he was trying to dry her out, and then the therapy, I guess, was going to start tomorrow. But that's why. But he didn't want anybody else to see her because it's supposed to be a secret on where she's at.
Right.
So he was going to take care of her. But this was her again, her drying out moment. I don't think he knew she was a werewolf, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I like, even when they have like, they clear everybody out in a rehab. There's always like somewhat of a skeleton crew, and it was just like no one there.
To your point, it
What
would
I
have been
thought was
awesome.
kind of, that's what I'm saying was kind of odd.
It would
So
have been it would have been awesome if that doctor all of a sudden, like, you hear like a Cajun accent and whatnot, and you found like, and then like he said, and then you find out like he has a last name that has to deal with voodoo or something like that. And then at the end you'd be like, oh, that's why maybe he took, because the whole werewolf thing is a curse. It started off as a curse. That's the whole fable, the whole how the werewolves come to be. It's a curse placed on one human, and then it starts spreading to the next person and whatnot. You know what I mean? But I love the fact, this is what I thought about the movie Scary Movie, the fact that it was the black person that was the first one to be like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. It reminded me of that black TV crew. Was like, we remember like all the
People dying, and we get the fuck out of here. Get your asses in.
White people were dead. It says this is black TV. It said white people were dead. We get the fuck out of here. Let's go.
Like they packed that shit up and left.
Yeah, man.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was-
But yeah, I think that's why. When I actually rewatched that one because I was like, oh, that's why there was like stuff all over the place. I just thought she was just an addict, and addicts just rage out and shit like that. You know what I mean? But that being said, I thought that maybe you would see torn up like couches or whatnot. Maybe that would have been too much. So
Well, then that's Chris. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that was her wolfing out moment. I think again she was an addict and she was having and she did that. She as a person did that. I think the full moon was the first time she turned into a wolf. That's what I'm thinking. Because I think that maid would have been dead. I think if she would have turned to a werewolf in that house, that they would have walked in and that maid would have been splattered all over those walls. Like I think that would have been the way to show that she wolfed out. Yes.
No, I think it was no.
Fire.
I think
Those
because the way a full moon works. So I'm like, I think she went there because she knew that the full moon was coming. So it was a matter of lock me up when the full moon comes, so that I
Not very-
won't be able to do anything during that time.
No, because it was her agent or the movie producer who called that guy. Like her movie producer was like, I gotta control my star and get her cleaned up. Then he was like, hey, I got somebody to come to take care of you. He didn't know that dude was gonna. He wanted that was a rehab process that she just happened to turn into an animal. Like I don't think she knew that she was turned into a wolf. Because then I don't think she would have been around anybody. I mean, not just running around the house with no chains or nothing on her. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm saying when she was in the rehab, like, why would you chain somebody up,
I don't know, David.
arms and legs like that, like shackles?
Well,
See,
we can talk about
I
that
think
from.
it was known. Let me tell you why I think it was known. Because she kept saying, "You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here."
Yeah, she did. She did.
As if, like,
Yeah.
I mean, like if for someone who was turning for the very first time, the way she was saying, she was like, like it was like as if she did it before, and not to mention, even when she was dying, she was like, kill me, as if like she couldn't handle it anymore. You don't do that just your first time. You know what I mean?
Well, but
You know?
again, I hear you, and I understand what you're going with that. My issue is that she was feeling guilt. She was having flashbacks of the accident. Like you never saw anyone else being killed. It was always she always went back to the accident and her driving. Like that she was guilty over that. Even at the house when she woke up, she was having nightmares about the accident. So there's no other time that she hurt anyone else. So I don't know when she had time to flip the wolf out and do something. That's what I'm saying. But I mean,
Maybe she's just haunted from the night when she was bitten.
then she would have been haunted from some of the murder she would have committed. Like it would have been something to say that she killed someone.
No, but I'm saying she doesn't even have a memory of her being bitten. She just has a memory of that night. When she goes into that to the werewolf, she doesn't have a memory of that. She's just that creature. Like she doesn't. It's not like she's a werewolf and she's the same person. She's
they usually.
Jamani, that might have just been for us, so we don't. So it's not. So it doesn't ruin the surprise. I think.
Yeah.
That's not want to reveal too much.
Yeah,
I think.
Does anybody think that her turning into a werewolf is like a metaphor?
Yeah. You know, like I look at, even though, okay, I know Kanye West got issues, okay, but remember when he was like threatened with a lawsuit, when he like took like one of the dude's cameras and like threw it down, and like he actually hit one of the paparazzi in the face, and like, oh, I'm going to sue you or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then like they put on a thing like saying that Kanye's a monster or whatnot, or he got anger issues or whatnot. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, yo, you turn people into this. Like you make people go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, like that's why I was saying the second episode bring up Prince Diana. It was more fitted for this one, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And then everything we saw with Britney Spears and whatnot, a lot of that stuff had
That's exactly who I was thinking of. Yeah.
Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, a lot. I mean, Britney Spears, a lot of it had to do with her father too. But most of it was the paparazzi. The paparazzi make these people go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, look at Amanda Bynes. You know what I mean? So it's like, that was her going crazy. Except hers was just like all of a sudden she goes on fours and started ripping people's throats out. You know what I mean? So it's like so yeah, you're right. I think it was a metaphor. I think it was a metaphor of just saying like, yo, you in people's faces too much. It's like that, like this is what's going to happen. And I love that little Easter egg that woman, that one celebrity woman that came out that car, and she snapped underneath her and she said, "You're a monster." She's like, "You're a monster." You know what I mean? And yeah, so it is really like, who is the monster? It's like I Am Legend. Like, who's the real monster? Is it like,
is it the paparazzi or is it the stars who are the monsters?
Yeah.
The thing is that celebrities do give their likeness and they know their stars, and there's a certain amount of pictures that they allow, but I feel like paparazzi takes it to another level. Right. And I think that what TMZ has been able to do over the years, because in the beginning, TMZ was in your face, right? But over the years, I believe that the person who created it, which is Harvey Levin, I think that he decided that he's gonna make it a, like he's gonna change it, right? He's gonna have his paparazzi people be friendly to the stars and have conversations with them and ask them questions, but in a friendly manner. And they're still walking behind them, but they're not invading their space the way it used to happen. You know what I mean? Like he's decided to change that. And it's true. You do give your license. You are a star because of your fans, but there's a limit. is a limit. Like the other day, I saw a fan, Rihanna, who is ridiculously pregnant right now. Okay, she's about to pop. She was like, have some fans around her, right? She's got ASAP Rocky over here, on her right side, and some fan just comes out and puts his arm around her. And Rihanna doesn't have on a lot of clothes right now. That was inconsiderate, and just don't do that. Her man is standing right there. Like, why would you do that? But that's just showing that fans don't know the boundaries. There's no boundaries. She deserves to have boundaries. And
right.
the paparazzi was there. They were showing her boundaries. They were backed up. They weren't, all in her face. And I think that some paparazzi, they still haven't learned to back up.
Because
take the picture and leave them alone. Like Ben Affleck with J-Lo, he actually is like, you got the picture, leave us alone. And a lot of the paparazzi will leave them alone. Because it's true, he understands they got to take a picture. He does. Take the picture, okay, and walk away. That's all he asked them to do. And some of them do it and some of them don't. And they want to call him a monster because he's like, get out of my face,
Yeah.
So
because
I got the point of it. I did. I got the point of it.
Yeah. So celebrities are not seen people, they're seen as just objects and stuff like that. Because of that, we can do whatever we want. We can put like our hand around them. We can take pictures and like take pictures right in front of them as they're breastfeeding their own baby. Like that's weird. Like I'm like, yo, this woman's breastfeeding her own baby. What the hell? Like, you fucking perv. Like, it's just weird stuff like that. It's just like, just get a shot so I can get some money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's just it's weird. And I think that's why, to your point, Kim, of like it's not as bad now. That's probably why they set it back maybe more than 10
they did.
ago, because it was horribly bad
to
the point where I think over in the UK they changed a little bit after Prince Diana, but here it was still freaking awful. It was still awful here in the States. So it was like, I mean, I guess that makes sense of why they put it back then. Not to mention, to your point about having a big old cameras or whatnot, it's that makes sense too.
It accentuates.
All right, so to it being a metaphor, right? I think it's a matter of the first incident was you're killing me. So the guy killed himself. Now it's a matter of you will be killed if you keep going. Like if what you're doing is killing people and you keep going, it will end up eventually killing you.
All right. Also, I think it would have been good if the actress was the one that freaked out in the earlier part of the episode, the one that the guy was like taunting, so she would like attack him, and so she could get the photo. If that was the same actress, like we're following her, because it could be like she out, like oh look, you're the monster because you tried to attack me, and then and then she almost gets her revenge by turning to a werewolf and killing that dude. Like if that would have been something, like if they would have skipped it like to the same person. I think that would have been interesting. Anyway, episode 5.
How did they not negotiate a percentage, or like when they put the tracker on there and the other guys showed up? I'm like, no, there's no way you're coming in this house or this facility or whatever. And if you are, let's be clear on what percentage you think that you're gonna get for this fine of mine.
Well, it's
I thought that would have been a conversation that should have been had.
It's about the photo, not the location. It was those guys who decided to dig under the thing anyway. So they're the reasons any of them got inside. But it's whoever got the photo and gave it to the person paying for the photo. So like it was all free.
Who has the best photo as well? So it don't matter. Ain't no splitting. They might just say that, but there ain't no real splitting. But there's no camaraderie amongst other fiends.
That's what.
I'm just saying. There's got to be a tax for putting a tracker on my vehicle. Like this,
dude.
They do that all the time. They do it all the time.
Matter of fact, the other guy would have probably done it to him as well.
Yeah, he said he knew what the game was. He was like, "Where is it?" He was like, "Right here."
Exactly. He knew. Exactly. He knew it so much because obviously he probably most likely did it himself.
Yeah.
So he just hated that it was done to him. Like it was just like
So, but I thought I like, again, the camera switched hand. I thought that was good. The man was dying, right? Like he was the worst part. They gave it to the old boy, and the old boy took it with the girl. So like it was awesome that she had to be the one ultimately holding, this damning footage. Saying the one who was like, we shouldn't be doing this, or we need to help this woman. Which is probably why she's the one that lived, because she's the one that was the most, the most kind. in the situation. So not the other one.
I play her gay roommate now, so so now that happens.
What?
I said now she can play her gay roommate. Remember, she wasn't paying rent.
Oh, that's right. Now she can play the roommate.
I like how you have little letters that says, "I am not here to be your, to be your money mule or whatever."
Some people don't like confrontation. Yeah.
And the last card
Your
said
stinky food.
And the last card said, "Thank you." Well, stinky food said that'll be episode 5.
No, it'll be funny. This is where
he said that. He said that in this episode.
Oh,
he said,
It was funny.
"I'll open the window."
Yeah.
Oh,
if I wish one of the note cards as he pulled back said like, "This is for your movie," and then mom is like, "Oh wait, I don't know how this got in there," and just toss it away or something. I don't know. Maybe they put some Lock Henry shit in there.
Oh, okay. I was like, "What the fuck?" Are you? Oh, okay, I get it. Boom. I was like, episode 5.
Not Knock at the Cabin, right? Is that what episode 5 was? Knock at the Cabin?
No, Demon
Damon,
79.
Yeah.
No, wait. Before you should have been filming because they said at the end of Lock Henry, we're looking to do like they're casting for like the recreation of the events or whatever, and they were looking for the black girl or whatever at the award, the after party of the award. They should have been filming the Lock Henry thing, and that would have been the set that she got kicked off of, the werewolf woman.
Oh, okay.
I
got you.
I was lost for a second.
I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I got you. I got you." Okay, I get you. I didn't know that. Well, they couldn't be looking. They're looking to cast the black woman. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so that they were casting for the Lock Henry thing. So
Gotcha.
she could have been playing some sort of role in that show or movie or whatever they were doing, and that could have been the set she got kicked off of.
Get next to. All right. I get tying the world together. I love it. Let's talk about Demons. So the last episode, we got Demons 79. I like this episode. This is my favorite episode.
Why?
It had a definite ending.
Yes.
There was actual character development, and I love that. And those two things, and it was thought provoking because at the moment when it was 11:45, and she was like, "Oh my god!" Like you're given that sense of the demon was lying to you, like, "Oh, this is all in your head," like that Black Mirror, like you make this shit up, right?
Yeah.
And for a few minutes, you believe that until the nuclear weapons start falling. And then
but do you believe that is real, or do you believe that is in her head? I personally believe that all of this is in her head.
I believe it was real,
and that's why I don't like this episode because it was too ambiguous.
You don't want it to be real. It was not ambiguous. Like the bombs were falling.
No, it was but they put too much in there to make it seem like she was going crazy between her mother and then the freaking domino
stuff.
Because
they made sure they told us that her mother was mentally ill.
Yeah.
And that was key to the story because she, it's trying to basically say mental illness, you can get it genetically from your parent, you can get it from grandmother. It's genetics, right? So I think that's why they put that little piece in there, is because she snapped, and she snapped based on her job and based on the racism that she was dealing with at work. And then she comes home and she's got like an NF or what was it, a PF or NF or whatever on her door.
It was like National Front or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and it was like, and so she broke, and I think she was broken the entire episode. She never regained her composure. I think she was just broken.
All right, so we see it differently, and I will accept that. But yeah, in Black Mirror form, I took it as real, and then she was actually, and she just walked off into the sunset, which I thought was again. Let me ask what I want to hear. I thought it was a good ending. That she was like, the demon was like, "Look, if it's just you and me in nothingness." Right, and she was like, "I'd rather at least we have each other." Like, so I kind of like that idea. Like, and it just looked cool to them walking in the whole fucking world going to shit. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." I was like, "So yeah," I thought of all the endings, I thought this was the happiest. I mean, at least for them. I mean, everybody else is dead as fuck. I mean, but I was like, at least she found someone, and I was like, beautiful. So anyway, that's
in her head. Yeah, she found someone.
Again, we agree, disagree. So I was like, on this one. Yeah. So anybody else? Oh, so
I'm like, it's clear that it wasn't in her head because there was like you see the like the police officer or whatever looking at the stuff outside, and she's still in like the interrogation room and stuff. So it's like she wasn't seeing stuff outside of herself, so to say, before. So why would she now be able to, like, so to say, know what's going on the other side of a wall now in the last scene? It just seemed like,
Well, he told her at 12 midnight that the world was going to end. So if she didn't kill the 3 people. So she was looking at the clock, and when the clock hit 12 and nothing happened, she was kind of like, wait, and then all of a sudden it happened. But then also too, there was a scene where, now remember, they showed her inside the room, the cops were sitting in front of her. She's looking at the clock. When the scene happened, when the next scene is the 2 cops outside the door, and then they see the apocalypse happening. So how did that happen? They never left the room. When everything started and she looked at the clock, the cops never left the room, and neither did she. But then the next scene was the cops standing outside the door. That's why it's in her head.
But what's up, Chris? What's up, Chris?
I'll tell you why I did not like this episode. Even though I said, okay, I like the fact the dude from Gangs of London was in it, and he was hilarious.
Right.
I thought the homie from Gangs of London was hilarious. The problem is that none of y'all caught this, because I guess that means y'all didn't watch this movie. When you said, when you were getting the title of this episode, I was joking around and said, "Oh, you mean Knock at the Cabin?"
Yeah, you said that.
It was the M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out a few months ago.
Yes,
which was surprisingly good.
Really? Okay.
You know, yeah.
I think it's relative. I think,
but the problem is, that's what the freaking show was. This episode was a knock on the cabin. It was about the apocalypse and Dave Bautista and them warning this family, saying, "Hey, you have to make 3 sacrifices, or else the apocalypse."
Oh, really? Okay.
Literally the same freaking premise, exception of the whole demon part, whatever. So it was just like, I thought I was, but the whole idea with the whole thing with the talisman and whatnot, I was like, what? They were like, well, because I was thinking the whole movie, like, why her? And they were like, oh, because she has a lot of pent up stuff. Like, who doesn't? Who doesn't imagine to have a coworker smashing their head into a glass thing? Who doesn't think they just want to just shoot everybody up? Like, come on, what? Like, there's actual real life killers out there that the talisman could have picked. It was just so weird. I don't know. I just felt that was just so random of an episode for Black Mirror to just like want to decide to digest and just be like, let's do a mythos on should we do genies? No.
But what was the technology? I didn't get what was the technology?
I acknowledge.
I think it was the TV where she based off of someone she finds really attractive, and then it's this the homie that looks like Bootsy freaking Collins.
Okay.
I don't. You know what I mean?
I agree. No, I would say with this one, I agree with Chris that there was no technology in this one. Like this was more like a Twilight Zone episode.
I agree with that.
This is classic Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Because like you say, you don't know. Like, was it all in her head? Did it really happen? I didn't think about what Jamani said, and that's a decent point, right? Like in the end, it was the cops and everyone else who saw the bombs fall. They're the ones who, and then she was like, "What?" And then he was talking to her, but then they walked out. But it wasn't like she saw it, and it was like, "See, I told you," or it all just disappeared, right? And that took time. It took time for that stuff to happen. It was like 12:05 or something. Like some time passed after 12 o'clock, and then she was like, "Oh shit! Like, am I crazy?" Like, because it's just a domino. They only see a domino. Like they put it in your mind that maybe all this stuff was fake. And then
the whole red mirror thing to begin with. What's up with the whole red mirror? I don't understand that one. They said red mirror protected. Did you pay attention to the beginning when it went right before?
I'm looking at it right now. Yes, because I gotta find that scene because Kim said they just got up this.
Yeah, because he doesn't believe me.
I gotta see it. I gotta be like, okay, maybe I missed it. I don't know what that is. I hear you. I don't know why. I don't know why it says Red Mirror Films. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know.
I don't know. No, it's just but the thing is, though, David, to your point, even okay, and that's why I say it was ambiguous at the end. But to your point, let's just say it really did happen, and she did start the apocalypse because of that. Then, in my opinion, it makes it even more stupid, because if this whole thing really did happen to begin with, like the whole world is ending because this little girl that works at a shoe store decide like this is it's just I just found it really weird, man. It just didn't. The stakes did not make sense. Why and then you choose this demon who was like, oh, this is my first day on the job, or my brand new demon, and he's the one that's supposed to be in charge of making sure that the end of days doesn't come.
Yeah.
So it was a turn on. It's a Wonderful Life. It's also a kind of like a turn.
But Wonderful Life. But if he affects his life, it wasn't going to be the end of the world when it comes to a Wonderful Life. It was literally
it's just a twist. Yeah.
I know, but to me, that's why I got that from, to be like, hey, this is my first thing. I'm like, I'm gonna get my wings or whatever. He's like, I get to be legit demon if I help you kill 3 people. I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, whether true or not, it was a hilarious ride.
It was hilarious, and like I said, he was the standout of it. Even though, again, I had to use subtitles for this dude. Okay, I was like, damn. I'm like,
the accent was legit. The accent was legit. I was like, what the. What?
I was like, is that a Cockney accent?
I did not need subtitles because I watch a lot of British TV, so I was cool.
I do too, but maybe I keep watching proper British folks because damn, they got like freaking slang. I'm like, their slang is. I was like, damn, man, like these guys from the gutter, like where they from? She's like watching swamp people. It's just like
well, that's like watching Lock Henry, because that guy had legitimate like Irish or whatever accent. I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
It was very strong. Yeah, it was like some Welsh.
It was strong. It
was like watching Force.
Oh.
What? Because you're like, God damn, you real Irish.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like,
what you legit. You're not
legit. Like you legit Irish. I don't know what the hell you're talking about right now.
Whitaker giving a fake Irish accent. You legit.
That was real bad. Okay. I see what you're saying, right? Like she's sitting at the table and look like she's praying or some shit. She's looking at the clock. I see it, and then and she's like, and she's looking around, and she's like, what the. And she's looking at the people, and then they just outside. Like they've been looking at this.
Yeah, they're outside. When did they get up and go out?
It could have happened. I mean, time passed. They could have just got up. Whoa. Okay, wait. So now, you know how I know it's their conversation. What happens now? Which means they already talked to her. This is not them looking at her before they go in. They've already talked to her. They got her confession. And the woman partner is like, so again, there's a sympathy for her. There's something we can do. And the cop was like, nah, bro, she did that shit. Like, so they just got done talking to her. That's what I'm saying. And then they're the ones, to Jamani's point, they're the ones who go out there to the front, because actually the co-workers are like, what the fuck? And then the bombs start coming. So allegedly. All right. So what? And then she's like, what? And then she has to get up to be like, what is happening? Like, what's going on out there? And anyway, I love the episode. Like I said, at least a defined ending at some level, right? Better than the space episode. There's a twist to it if you accept the fact that maybe it's true that she was crazy. Actually, she's not crazy because the world's fucking over. There's no technology though. To Chris's point, this is not really Black Mirror. This is more Twilight Zone.
Let me just say this, right? The third episode, it did have a definitive ending. It would have been more like 7 or something like that if we got, what did you do with the link? What did you do? And before he goes back to find out, what he has done, he goes to see the massacre that is taking place. We just have, what have you done? What have you done? And then it just fades out. There's more of an ending with that.
No.
You're wrong.
You're making it even a worse episode, Jamal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the ending we got is better than if it had ended that way.
No, it's not.
No, you don't award points just because someone isn't as bad as like it being the look. Like, come on, man. Just because it's covered in piss, you don't just be like, well, at least he ain't covered in poo. Like, no, he's covered in piss.
No, it's bad, Jamani. It's bad, Jamani.
Okay,
because,
all right. So
it was not a good. That was my favorite. That one was my favorite only because the acting was so good, and I really enjoyed the acting, and I enjoyed the story, but the ending was bad.
Yeah, it was.
They should have gave us something like a little, just a smidge more.
Something.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like I said, this was. I'm not sure. This would have been Brad Pitt looking into the box. Then looking back at Morgan Freeman and fucking Kevin Spacey and going, and then that's it. And then the fucking film, and then the movie blew off.
You don't know if you pulled the trigger or not.
Or even walked up to him. Like, that would have been the ending. And we would have been like, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Oh, that would have been terrible.
That would have been terrible.
And that would have been
riots in the streets.
So if you like this episode, you probably would have loved that Trump themed season. Was it 2017 of American Horror Story? Because that's what I was thinking that this whole episode was just leading up to was, yes, we have to kill the bad president to be.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, but that's always
I don't remember that. I mean, I watched it, but I don't remember.
Oh, you did? Oh, I was like,
but that always like there's always, and there's like someone that's a time traveling, like, oh, we got to kill Hitler in order to like. It's just, again, this was a knock on literally Knock at the Cabin. Watch Knock at the Cabin. When you guys watch that film, you will see where you're like, holy shit. Like,
no, when you described it, Chris, you're right. I mean, I have no argument. If you what you described, that's
so if not, okay, so let me ask you this, Chris. Knock on the Cabin, was that in their mind or was it real?
Yeah.
It defined it. So just like in this show, like it puts stuff in there to make it seem like, oh, maybe it's not real, because the people starring is, it's like basically this gay couple, whatnot. They don't, they're like, no, this is bullshit. Like they're telling Dave Bautista, like, you guys are supposed to be like three horsemen, like the three horsemen of the apocalypse or whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is what we're called to do. And then they're like, no, this is stupid. Why isn't the world ending right now? They're like, you got to hurry up and kill someone. And then at the end, it shows evidence that there literally was going to be like chaos in the entire world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what if they didn't achieve it. So you're saying you're a movie.
But M. Night did it in a subtle way, where it's like when you watch it, you're like, it's like, oh shit. Like it doesn't just say out there like, oh, the end of the world. It's just more of like all kinds of stuff going around, and you see one of the guys like, oh my fucking god, like holy shit, like this was going to be it. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, so.
But what I would have liked would have been if, I don't know, it was election night or something like that, right? And, you know, this is before Secret Service or something, you know, like high militarized security or something. And she, you know, is going to beat up this president, not elect, but, you know, we call it candidate, right? Yeah. And she doesn't go through with it. And as soon as he assumes office or whatever, he does something that causes nuclear warfare and just, you know, imminent death across the world upon him becoming elected. That should have been the issue. It would have been like, yeah, we're trying to deter you because we really do want the end of the world. And this is why we've selected you, and all of this type of subtext or whatever, because she was going to always choose this one guy on this day when she was at work, and whether she, you know, that was going to be the third kill no matter what. And if she did it, then, you know, she would have saved it. But if she doesn't, then it's the end of the world. It should have been really connected to that. And if she doesn't kill him, he's the one who starts the process of the end of the world.
To your point, I was thinking it's weird that the demon is working so hard to stop her. Like he was like, don't do this. Like the higher ups is not going to like this. And she's like, no, fuck that. Like this is going to be the one. But in like the future, show me the future. He was going to bring, I don't know about World War III, but I mean, he was going to make it hard for immigrants in the UK. I mean, I think I remember.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So it was interesting how it was like, but again, I was like, why is the demon fighting so hard against this one kill? Like, she's like, you know, just pick somebody else. Like, Anyway,
it was like more or less like showing like all of the stuff, like you could say Trump is sort of say responsible for, like, you know, all of the things that he okayed and made people think was okay to go out and do upon him just being the leader. So it was more or less a connection in that kind of sort of way. Like he's vicariously, you know, giving a wink and a nod to this type of behavior and activity. But I'm like, I think it should have just been imminent. Like we don't have to wait years for this to so to say happen. It should just happen. You should just do an automatic thing that does cause Armageddon.
It could be. I could have waited for a longer, like this could have been a movie, like an hour and a half, whatever. And I would have been enjoying, especially like the investigation and like her trying to kill people. Like she should have killed her coworker. I mean, just for free. Like, I mean, I just felt like if she would have been like, you already got your quota for the day. She's like, I'm still gonna kill this bitch. I'm like, yes.
to Kim's point, I'm like,
I feel like she should have killed Vicky, and that way it wouldn't have happened. There wouldn't have been apocalypse because she deserved to die.
No, I'm saying to your point, that was that's like the only evidence that I could say that it might have been in her head, more so than any of her mother having any sort of issues. Was at the beginning, she was doing that to like everybody when they pissed her off. And it was just like she snapped out of it. It was like, oh, I was just imagining.
Well, see, and then I think at the end, if she would have been somehow back at the count, and that could have been again not Black Mirror, but a Twilight Zone episode. If somehow after all that shit, she's right back at the counter going, "Can I serve you, sir?" And it's like, oh shit, like this is all in her head, right? Like, and that would have been, because it looked so real. I mean, either way, like, and that would have been a fine, I guess, twist.
Oh yeah, I think that would have been good. Like at the end of all of it, you see everything blow up. She's walking hand in hand with the demon, but then all of a sudden the reality shows, and she's actually at work, and she imagined all of it.
Eating her sandwich, watching that guy doing disco.
She's putting the shoes on the demon's foot, on her.
Yeah.
Then she was selling them a pair of shoes. The actual
selling them some shoes.
Yeah. That would be okay. All right. Oh, what's up, Chris?
That would have been worse, Kim. The whole like waking up at the end and it was all a dream. No, audiences hate that. Audiences they don't like being fooled like that. They don't like that.
It's not fools, because again, throughout the whole show, she was fucking crazy. I mean, like this. I mean, it would be consistent. It would be. That's the opposite.
No, the only way.
They showed her using her imagination a couple of times.
Yeah.
It only works if you do it in the sense of like what they did in the movie Identity, where like it wasn't a dude's head, but then at the end it comes full circle and you see who wins as far as the personality goes. That's the only time I've ever seen in any movie, in any thriller film, where like that has ever worked. Everything else has been god awful. But it only worked there in Identity, and only because of that twist of the sense of who took over the dude's mind, right? Because you thought like John Cusack and everybody was real. You know what I mean? All that other stuff goes on. But nah, you waking up, that's some Dallas shit, man. Like, nah, like this is that was it Dynasty? One of them. What that have Patrick
Dallas.
Dallas with Bobby Ewing, who was shot and then all of a sudden it was a dream.
Yeah.
The whole season
in the shower.
He had a horrible career after that, and he's stuck doing step by step. You're like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, it's just like, yeah, nah, man, don't wake up and then like have the audience be pissed and they want to burning their subscriptions. You know what I mean?
Want to do that?
No, that was it Bob Newhart, and then was it St. Elmo's
Fire
thing or whatever, where the autistic kid had a snow globe or something like that.
Or you mean St. Elmo's Fire? What?
That TV show where they were doctors in the 80s. St. Elmo's or whatever.
Fuck.
St. Elsewhere.
I was like, shit. I was about to say.
I had to go off screen.
She was like, damn it. St. Elsewhere was all a child's dream?
Yeah, it was an autistic kid's imagination of a snow globe, because the hospital is in the snow globe.
What? Yeah, I remember that. I do.
What in the fuck? Was that the one George Clooney was on?
No, that was ER.
Okay, thank you. I would have threw my fucking TV. That was NBC, right? That was NBC. I feel like it was NBC or CBS. I feel like it had to be one of those.
I think it was NBC.
I felt like it was NBC. Yeah. Nah, NBC would have got a letter. That was back in the 80s. They would have got a letter. But,
I'm like, you could do that with a show like this because it's an episode. You can't do that with a series with multiple seasons.
Lost. Anyway, all right. So
also legit. I'm like,
from. Stop it, Chris. I was like,
what? No, Kim brought it from. Damn
it! I was like, it's doing very well.
We will get to Lost tomorrow during Yellow.
From. All right. So overall, you didn't see the rest of the season, so Jamani, this won't work. So overall, Jamani, for this season, would you recommend this season to someone?
Yes.
All right, so it was entertaining enough that you'd be like, you should check it out.
Yeah, like I think start with the first episode. It has that star power. We didn't mention Michael Cera or whatever who was in the episode as well. Like, it has that star power. And if you,
I never heard anyone say Michael
the second episode and save that for later or something. You go straight to the third episode. You still got more star power. So it's just
the whole season. I mean, we mentioned that. Beginning like this, it was a lot of great celebrity cameos in this. They really brought the paychecks out.
Not enough. They couldn't get Kate Blanchett in it, so I'm just saying.
Not long term, bro. Like she was an image of an image. of an image.
The image on out. That's Photoshop, dude. What you talking about?
I'm saying, but it was like it was 3 layers deep. I mean, it took a while. Kim, would you recommend this season to someone?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It's just, certain ones just weren't up to par of Black Mirror. But I mean, yeah, I would recommend watching it. I mean, it's entertaining. If anything, I mean, it's definitely entertaining. It keeps you watching it. I didn't feel like watching any of them. I didn't feel like I'm not even watching this. I didn't feel like playing video games, or you know what I mean? Like I actually watched it.
Yeah.
Because I know Black Mirror is one of those shows that you kind of have to watch because you miss things if you don't like really pay attention, So yeah. So I mean, I would say, yeah, go ahead and watch it, but it's not every single episode is top notch. But when you think about it, we're on season 6. If you think about it, you go back to the season, not every single episode was good, They had some really good ones, and then they had some mediocre, but it still was interesting because it's a different way of writing a show. Yeah.
All right, Chris, how about you?
I feel like if you're the type of person that typically just like watching Black Mirror, I kind of feel like I have to suggest watching the season. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of have to, it's like, you know how we always say that about like, was it Power or whatever? And we're like, The Shy was probably a better example. And we're like, we're already in it. We got to keep going. We started it. That's how I kind of feel about with this season of Black Mirror. Even the episode that I did like, when I put it in retrospect compared to previous seasons, that episode like was weak. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you were a first time Black Mirror watcher like Damani was, do not do like what he did and watch this season first. Start off with like, I'm trying to think of a strong season. Second season, I would say it was like probably the strongest, I think. Start off with like maybe the second season, you know what I mean? And kind of work your way and watch like even some of the ones that are kind of dull, like the Miley Cyrus one. The Miley Cyrus one, I was like, the hell is this? You know what I mean? But whatever. I feel like it's important to watch all of them still, just watch the different episodes, including this season. Because there are some small little gems in it, but you'll also see how many of the episodes are in this season compared to previous seasons, where literally only 2 episodes of this season really legitimately had technology-based plot lines to it. You know what I mean? The first and third one. The other 3, I mean, yeah, they're trying to put like I have to put this is an asterisk I'm putting next to the second episode for all you guys. This is Sammy Sosa like winning Grand Slam. No, you got to put asterisk next to his name on that shit. You're like, this is like, I don't know, we should count this. Like, you know what I mean? The season itself is not truly what Black Mirror is, but there are some gems hitting in there, and pretty much in all the episodes, with the exception of maybe the second one. I hated the second one, like to the fullest. But even the third one, which I was not a fan of, there's elements of it where you're like, okay, I can see the creativity and the writing style of it. So yeah, watch it, but just hope that season 7 is better, or they have like one of those little. What did they do last season? It was like, remember they had that one movie was like that interactive thing.
Yeah. Remember? Choose your own adventure, some shit.
Yeah, choose your own adventure type thing. I thought it was weak, but I like the idea of them at least trying to try it out. I like them at least releasing stuff like that, and that's what I at least appreciate about Black Mirror, is that they try certain things out. I hope the reception gets up to them about maybe some of the stuff about like certain things that work and that don't work, and they can just change it up for the next season. So that's it.
So let me ask a question real quick. So I heard about that when that happened. So is it really like you get to choose an ending, or is it just like you get to just choose the like end scene, like how you have like on DVDs where it's like
throughout the whole
alternative ending, and you just get to choose one of those?
No, throughout the entire movie, you choose like certain things, just like in a video game, where it's like, should he tell him to fuck off, or tell him just like shake his head? And there's consequences with each decision you decide. So basically, what they did was film like different types of movie, like a different set of movies and different reactions and different endings, to your point. And it's all about what you choose.
Okay.
So yeah, I forgot the name. I forgot the name of it though.
Like Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna check that one out. But I know you guys are ranking the episodes, but would you guys rank the seasons? And you guys said you're going to talk about some Easter eggs. So I'm like, what were the Easter eggs?
Oh yeah, like the robot dog thing and.
Oh, I hate that fucking.
I didn't like that one either. That was so stupid.
Hey, we got this for another bit. We've been doing this shit for too long. I'm out. That's gonna be the like when you watch the other episodes, we can maybe redo that shit. But we gotta get to Run the World, and I got things to do with my life. I recommend it, but I do think this should have been a different show. Like I said, it really didn't stick to the technology thing, as Chris pointed out. Charlie Booker said that this show is supposed to teach people about the dangers of humanity, dangers of humanities, not the dangers of technology. So I think the season's shift was him being petty. Was him being petty. So
who?
Charlie Booker.
I know what you're talking about, but sounds like you're moving the goalposts as far as what the intention of Black Mirror was, because that's not what the Black Mirror wasn't. The danger of humanity, it was the danger of technology. That's what it was. Now they can probably try to say that now that they released the season, but that's not what Black Mirror was. I challenge you to rewatch every single episode before season 6.
Charlie Booker said, not that she said. She said Charlie Booker said again. So
yeah, that's whoever Charlie Booker is.
Charlie Booker.
I don't know. The creator.
Is Charlie Booker? Isn't he the writer? I thought he was the writer and creator.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he said that only after this season, right?
Okay,
because that's not what it was used to be.
Oh, he did in the interview saying that a few weeks ago. So both of you are correct. He said it. He's the creator, but to your point, maybe he's trying to shift the dynamic. And
he's like, look, I'm running out of ideas. Like, and all I got.
Thank you, Desiree. Chris is just mad. He loves.
No, what I'm thinking is that with the last
I do love the show. And that's why I'm pissed, and that is why I'm pissed. I do love the show.
Yes,
and that's why I'm disappointed. It's like having a kid who like do something really bad. It's like do you hate your kid? No, you don't hate your kid. You're just like, yo, man, like you should know better. Like I want the best for you. Black Mirror, I want the best for you and Streamberry. Okay, I just need you to do better. So this is constructive feedback for him. All right, you know what I mean? And you know, love is harsh. You know what I mean? It's like this is what this is. It's tough love. This is tough love.
It should have been a whole season of like Joan watching Streamberry shows, and every episode was just a new show she watched. Like so, and then at the end you find out like she's just a CGI, and she's not even real. Like if that was the overarching
Black Museum. Didn't Black Museum do something like that?
They did. Yeah. Like as she was walking through the museum, you heard different stories. And in the end, it was like one story. But like if they would have made a whole season out of it, like that would be interesting because this whole, especially since Joan was watching, basically Netflix, like that would have been a kind of a meta thing to do. What's up, Jemai? Sorry.
The last episode where you guys were saying like the Red Mirror thing. Is this like a spinoff, like the backdoor pilot to like a spinoff series or something?
A Black Mirror?
It's just more, I guess you'd say, psychological or supernatural type of themed stories as a getting away from the technology
piece.
Yeah.
No. What I think this was for one, at least for me, this is the first time I ever saw them even bringing up Red Mirror Presents, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that this might be the start of something new, and that's why it was the last episode of the. But to be honest, season 4 had that too. I mean, episode 4 had that too. Is my point. But I guess if like maybe if they have other to David's point, maybe it should be a different show. Should be not without Black. Maybe it'll be a Black Mirror spinoff, right? But don't put it in the Black Mirror. You only get freaking 5 episodes. You're like, don't make this one, like, you know what I mean? It'd be one thing if you gave us like 10, and then this one was like one of those like those off the cuff Black Mirror ones. But no, we only got 5. 5. Do you Brits give us at least 6 or 7?
Nah, British do that wild shit.
No, they usually give us 7, except for Sherlock. Sherlock, they piss me off with the stupid 4 episode shit. I'm like 4 episodes, really? Like 4?
And then Luther, same thing.
Luther do at least 6. Right?
I differ. It differed. So like some was like 3. Like someone was like 3. No. That's what I'm saying. So it could be that.
But I guess with an anthology though, like you have room to create other stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think it might be more of like the scheduling conflicts of Idris Elba or just a story, because it's always one story with those 3 episodes. There's one story. There's multiple stories. You know what I mean? And if you're talking about them being like 50 minutes in length or whatnot, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, if you're going to have a written mirror presents whatnot, make that a different type of, like, maybe it's just the series should be called Black Mirror. Oh no, it's just called like Red Mirror from the creators of Black Mirror or something, or some shit like that. Like, so maybe they should do that. To your point, Jamani, I feel that's what I was thinking when I saw that, because I was thinking, I had to think back, like, was there ever a Red Mirror thing before this? But I was like, okay, maybe this is a world, like a separate world event, and I don't know. Maybe we'll see other shows that's in the same world as what we saw in the last episode. But then, ironically, the world ended, so I don't know how that works, unless it really is in their mind. And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And we see in another episode, she's just handcuffed or just in a mental institution, just doing this the whole time.
Talking
You
to
know,
to her demon boyfriend. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, so other than that, Jamani, yeah, that Red Mirror thing is kind of brand new, and we'll see where it goes, because clearly they're going to use that.
I will say this, right? I said that the American Horror Story season had the whole presidential thing 2017. 2018, the next season, was people living underground after nuclear warfare, and then trying to like the bad evil stuff being above ground. So this world could be about people who survived the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's it. It could be. We're done with this shit. All right. Like, I got like
I gotta go to the ladies' room. So
yeah.
I'm out.
So, all right,
I got to drop the Cosmic Kids off to the lake, so you know.
There you go. See, everybody.
All right. Well,
bye,
I won't see you next weekend. So bye, Chris.
Oh, that's right. So
bye, Jamani.
Bye.
Sorry, guys. See ya. Like on the video.